Your life as a teacher is going to change drastically in the coming week. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it might work for you?
Well, our change to how we teach actually began in the middle of March. The last time I was in my classroom with my students was Friday, March 13th.
Wow.
Jefferson County actually has already done a week of remote learning, then had spring break. We actually rolled out remote learning, if I'm not mistaken, before most districts in Colorado did so. So we were already doing remote teaching on, what was that, the 16th of March. We were already ready to begin teaching remotely with our kids. So just to give you a little bit of what I'm doing as a fifth grade teacher, our week prior to spring break, on Friday the 13th, we had time to meet as a team, time to meet with admin, and our admin at our building had already done a ton of work in a short amount of time and said, we're going to elevate 4 standards for 5th grade. You're going to focus on those 4 standards when we remotely teach the week prior to spring break. Then we'll reassess what we're going to do if we end up remotely teaching beyond spring break. So the week prior to spring break, all we did work, and it was surrounded around 4 content standards, and we had assignments and work every day that was relevant to what we needed to do for our grade. So the way Jefferson County is working is Monday are teacher work days. We have no student contact. Tuesday through Friday is in which we teach curriculum. 5th grade plans to roll out new units on Tuesday, next Tuesday. We're continuing with our curriculum. Now, I don't know if that's with every building because we're not hanging out chit-chatting, right? But our building is intending to moving forward with the curriculum that we need to get covered by the end of the school year. My current building was able to send home with every family who needed it a Chromebook if they chose to do so.
And how many of your kids chose to do so?
Well, out of our 70 or so 5th graders, all of our kids went home with books, Chromebooks.
Will all of your students have internet access?
So what we did, if I can back up to give you some background information about the weeks prior to spring break.
Sure.
We had a stand-up meeting on Thursday the 12th at 4 p.m. and our admin told us, you need to start thinking about the possibility that we're going to teach remotely because other districts or other states had already moved that way. And so we had a meeting from like 4 to 4:45, and we walked out of the meeting with a million questions and a million things going on.
Bet.
And by 6:30 Thursday evening, the district released a message saying we were going to remote learning after Friday. So in the hours of 4:30 on Thursday and 3:50 when we released the kids on Friday, we had in plan at least a week's worth of work for the kids.
Okay.
And so most of us were up Thursday night.
Yes.
Trying to do work because we still held class on Friday with our kids. We still taught on Friday. And so what we did was actually somebody way smarter than me had the knowledge or the thought to ask Thursday night. We sent home the slip of paper and asked parents, would you like a Chromebook, yes or no? And the families that said no thank you, we asked, do you have a device already at home or do you have internet at home? So families that did not have internet, we put together paper packets for work for those families that didn't have internet. Our staff were insanely prepared for what was about ready to happen.
Wow.
I have never seen so many people work so hard so quickly. It was incredible to watch. Now, when people ask, literally, this is going to sound so funny, but you having come from the classroom understand. When people ask why we have multiple copiers, no one should ever question that again. Why a building has more than one copier. Friday, those suckers were smoking. Like, but it was really nice because people who wanted devices got devices. People who needed paper versions got paper versions. And what happened is that families are still, like, I know that our admin have come into the building because a family has emailed and said, hey, I need this, this, and this. Can you get it for us? And the admin puts the packet together, has the packet ready. The family does a drive-by, grabs it, and gets what they need. As we spoke earlier on the phone, the kids have some requests that we didn't think about. They need to see our faces. They want to hear our voices. So we're trying to figure out what technology the district offers or has purchased or has a license for that we can use to record ourselves, take pictures of ourselves, so on and so forth. I've been reading every day and recording myself reading every day and then posting it so the kids can listen to, say, an audio book. We have taken funny pictures of ourselves as teachers and posted it to our Google Classroom. So 5th grade decided to create one Google Classroom to share amongst the 3 of us. So all of our 5th graders have the same access to the same material at the same time.
Okay.
They also have access to all 3 of us as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no standardized testing scheduled for this year.
Wow.
5th grade should have started March. We were first up. March 16th would have been our first day of testing.
That Monday coming back.
Yeah, we would have done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had math, and then 3rd grade was right behind us.
Okay.
It's really interesting because we as a profession, we were actually quite shocked that they decided to postpone it. There is no conversation about standardized testing. The conversation now is things like, how are we meeting IEP minutes? How do you offer accommodations to kids who you're not physically with ever, that now it becomes their parents' responsibility? So these are really uncharted waters where we're trying to navigate this. And there is no norming for what remote learning looks like.
No kidding. Yes.
Right? And then that equity piece, or and multiple avenues about like what a kid has at home, what each teacher is presenting to their kids, how much, some kids could spend 10 hours doing 3 assignments that it takes another kid an hour, right?
Right.
And that's just it's all new. It's all new.
Well, that would lead to my next question that we talked in an earlier interview about teacher stress. How is this affecting your stress level?
I'm naturally a worrier. From an educator perspective, I worry about the kids that need routine and rigor. I worry about kids who need a calm place. I worry about kids who are too smart for their own good and they need extensions. I worry about kids who are cramped in small spaces and no place to go. I just worry about what they're doing when they're not with me. And I have complete faith in their families. You just worry when they're not with you. And considering I have had them a year and a half, because I have them as 4th graders, they really are my kids.
Is there stress related with this whole new technology and getting this done and how it's going to work?
Well, I've been going to school to become a digital teacher librarian.
Yes.
And so it's really funny because part of the program is learning about the digital learning of life.
Yeah.
And so when we get hit with things, I'm like, oh, But I think also one of the blessings in disguise with all this nonsense is that we can try things out, and if we fail, we're like, well, that didn't work. And the kids are like, okay, or, oh, the internet's down again. Okay, right? We just move on. We just try something else. The week before spring break, when we were teaching, the kids weren't getting assignments done. Now, don't get me wrong. You know there are kids that aren't going to do assignments regardless of where they are
Right.
or who they're with. But we had a huge group not getting things done, and that is not unlike. It's unlike our current group. They're pretty on it. And so the three of us, the three fifth grade teachers, were like chatting online, and we're like, this is not working at all. And we redesigned the Google Classroom, totally rearranged things, moved things, deleted things, and sent an email to the parents and to the kids and said, this is what we did because the kids need some help. 180-degree change. And what's interesting about all of this is there have been no staff meetings. There have been no TLCs. There have been no team meetings. We're just doing what we're doing, and we're doing it well.
Right.
Like we're acting on feedback from the kiddos, feedback from the parents, and we're just doing what we need to do. And like our team is doing incredibly well considering what we have to work with. I mean, I don't know if it's the same with every team or every building. I do think like our admin team did an amazing job in a short matter of time to prep us. As soon as they got a whisper that this could be coming, they hunkered down behind closed doors, started laying out a plan. So when they kind of rolled it out to us, all of us were like, okay, let's do this.
We talked earlier, you and I, in a conversation about you have some kids that are reliant on the school for breakfast and lunch. How's that being handled?
Okay, so we have a food and clothing pantry housed in our building in one of our camps. Prior to their departure on the 13th, we made sure that the kids had food for 2 weeks that would last them through the week prior to spring break and through spring break. Every email that has come out from our building has a contact that will meet families at the pantry if they need supplies, or one of us can go in and they put stuff together and they can drive by and we can throw the food in the back seat or whatever case may be. The school district has a grab and go breakfast and lunch options Monday through Friday at multiple sites, and it's a grab and go thing. Any kid from, I think it's age, and correct, you'll have to look, but ages 1 to 18, it doesn't matter who it is, you drive by, they give you food, you drive on. And they started with like 5 or 6 sites, and I think they've added more as the needs from the communities have come in.
Sounds like the district handled this really well.
Well, and I think we're super thoughtful. I think, we joke about it. Schools do a lot of things, a lot of behind the scenes things. We not only meet academic needs, but we meet nutritional needs. We help get people support for finances, right? We've got people that are out of work. So we have resources on who to call, what to do, so on and so forth. We have our social workers, our counselors, providing social, emotional, mental health support. A lot of behind the scenes that's no longer behind the scenes.
Right.
Up on the front line. I think, like I told my husband, I told Ron, I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to do 2 more months of this, I am not an online learning teacher. I will never have that profession in the district. No, thank you. I need to be with the kids, physically in their space.
Right.